Good morning, everyone. Have you ever just wanted to have something in the refrigerator to whip up a really quick meal? I do. Sometimes my husband just wants to come in and get something really quick to eat, or I just don't feel like cooking that night. One of the things that I really like having in there is potato salad. And I really like potato salad with hamburgers, or even if we just want to do a grilled ham and cheese panini and have some potato salad with it, we can whip up a meal really quick. So today I'm going to make my homemade potato salad, and I hope you enjoy it. Hi, I'm Karen, and this is Grandma's New England Kitchen. Okay, so one of the very first things is obviously peel the potatoes, and the potatoes are really important. I use either a red potato, or red potatoes are white on the inside, but either a white potato or a red potato. Do not use a russet potato. You'll just end up with mashed potato salad, and it's no fun. So I've peeled most of these, and I know you can't see that right now, but I am going to take them and wash them. But I just wanted to show you that the type of potato I'm using is a white potato. I will be back very shortly as I go to get the rest of this ready. And just in case you haven't seen it, it's snowing outside. We're supposed to get about 7 inches today. This should be fun. So I'll be right back. I have my water on a boil and going. I'm going to add some salt in, about half a tablespoon. We are going to put salt in the marinade also. You don't have to over salt the water. And then just basically cut them up in about the size you think you want for your potato salad. I do roughly about this size. Some of them, you want them all about the same size, but I don't like them real big, but not too small either. We'll get these cut up, and then what I'll do is make a marinade using apple cider vinegar, organic sugar, onion, and after these are done boiling, they'll get mixed in the marinade and then sit to cool down. That just adds extra flavor into the potatoes. There's a difference. When there's no marinade, it's almost flat, can be. I shouldn't say that because I've had some pretty good potato salad that people have made that they haven't marinated. I just think it makes a better potato salad. And then I also put hard-boiled eggs in my potato salad. It's just something my mother did. It's just what I'm used to having in. And I also put relish and different things. So I'm going to go ahead and finish chopping up the potatoes and get them all going. When they are done, I will be back and we'll finish making up the marinade and getting everything together. I have a few more potatoes to cut. We'll also check and see how much more snow we have on the ground then. I'll see you in a bit. The next thing that I'm going to work on is the brine. And the potatoes are getting close to being done. But what is going to go into this is a quarter of a cup of apple cider vinegar, a quarter of a cup of water, a quarter of a cup of organic sugar, a quarter of a cup of olive oil, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and a half a teaspoon of pepper, and half of a Vidalia onion. And a lot of people talk about types of olive oils that I use. I have been using exclusively Corto, and it's an American olive oil. They're out in California. I order it directly from the company. It's not one that I have been able to find in any stores. I think you can maybe find it on Amazon. I just don't trust the one that I find on Amazon. I buy directly from them. It's such a fantastic flavor. And how I came across this is a lot of Italian restaurants actually use this. And we went to Saratoga to the races. And while we were there down in Albany, we stopped at an Italian restaurant. I cannot remember the name of it, but they brought some bread and olive oil at the beginning for dipping, which is common with Italian restaurants. And I had never tasted olive oil like this. Porto's not sponsoring this at all, just so you know. I just think it's an amazing olive oil. I tried to find out what it was, and I was asking the waiter, and he kept telling me, but I couldn't understand what he was saying. It was just, he had a very heavy accent, and I could not understand what he was saying. So we get home, and I emailed the restaurant. And I wish I could tell you, but like I said, this was like 8 years ago. I emailed the restaurant, and the owner got back to me, surprisingly, very quickly, and she told me what it was. So I went on the hunt, I found it, and that is all I have ever used since when it comes to olive oil. All of these things are going to go into the pool. Here's the 1/4 cup of water, 1/4 cup of cider vinegar, 1/4 cup of organic sugar. My cider vinegar is also organic, and that's from Azure Standard. Again, not sponsored. I'm too new for anybody to sponsor me. Don't know if it'll ever happen. And then a 1/4 cup of olive oil, 1½ teaspoons of Redmond's real salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of ground pepper, and the 1/2 of my Vadala onion. All in the pool. Hopefully my circuit breaker doesn't mind this and my pot going at the same time. We are about to find out. Got to plug it in. Let's go ahead and blend this up. And that is all it takes. So as soon as my potatoes are done, they are close to it, I will drain them. And while they are hot, after they're drained, then I'll pour this on it, and then they'll go to cool down. Then after that, we will continue with making the potato salad. But I'll bring you back when I put the brine on. My potatoes are ready. I'm going to turn that off. I pulled one out, and they're soft, but they're not turning into mashed potatoes by any means. And that is what you want. So they're perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and drain these. Then we'll get this on. So I'll see you in just a second. My potatoes are all drained. And I let the steam dry them off some, but they are still very hot. So now what I'm going to do is get them down into the bowl. Take the brine that I made, shake it up. Just pour it all on there. And then stir them up. And what's going to happen is these potatoes are going to soak up that brine as they cool. So I'm going to get this covered. I'm going to get it refrigerated. And when it cools down, then we will come back and make the rest of the potato salad. In the meantime, I am going to get 3 eggs going because I do put hard-boiled eggs in my potato salad. So I'll see you in a little bit. My eggs are all boiled, and how I did them was, these are farm fresh eggs, and I put them in a pot of cold water. I turned them on once I got them to boil. They boiled for 7 minutes. Then I took them off the stove and let them sit in the hot water for another 3 minutes. Then after that, I went and ran cold water over them and waited for that to get a little bit warmer. Then I replaced it with some more cold water. But before I did the cold water, I smashed them around and get them a little broken. So the shells are already cracked. And then I put the cold water on them and let them sit for 3 minutes, then switch the water out to colder water and let them sit for another 2 minutes. And for farm fresh eggs, as you can see, there's no dimple on the end of this. There's no air that has left the egg yet. These are from my chickens in the backyard, and they peeled beautifully. That's how I do it. Everybody has their different tricks, but that's just how I do it. So I have some more eggs to peel, and then I'm going to get them chopped up and ready for the potato salad. So I will be back. We are back, and the potatoes have sat and marinated for quite a while, and what you end up with is they get nice and creamy just from the marinade that we put down in there. So now what I'm going to do, I do have to switch over to a bigger bowl. So I'm just going to go ahead and get it all in here. Now we're going to go ahead and add everything else. So I'm doing 1 cup of mayo. And this is a heavy duty mayo. If you can't get that, then just use a regular mayo. But I do heavy duty mayo, which is thicker. And I use Duke's. And unfortunately, the only way you can get heavy duty mayo in Duke's, where I live, is a 1-gallon container. So most of the time I do not get through it all, unfortunately, but it is what it is. So the next thing is about 1.5 cups of chopped celery. Use however much you prefer. And then I grate it on the box grater. 1 carrot. And we'll get that down. And then the other half of the Vidalia onion that we blended up for the marinade, that's going to go down in there. And then this is a 1/4 cup of sweet relish. So that's going to go in. I do need a tablespoon of yellow mustard, and I just eyeball that. Some celery seed, which is 1 teaspoon of celery seeds. 1.5 teaspoons of dill. I'll wait on the last of that. And then about 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. And the only thing left for me to cut up are my eggs. So I'm going to go ahead and chop them up. Now, my mom, when she made this, she actually would slice them and put the full slices on top after she mixed everything up. I'm not real fond of that. I like the eggs cut up in it. But I do want to show you the method that I told you about boiling the eggs, although this doesn't look, you end up with absolutely zero gray on your yolks, which is fantastic. So I'll just break that up right there. So let me cut up the rest of these. Unfortunately, this is the time of year my chickens do not get out in free range, so I do not have very orange yolks, but that's okay. They still give us nice eggs. And a little bit after we get this put together, I'll put the camera up so you can see how much snow has come down since I started this. Oof, we are getting some snow. And it makes my husband not very happy. Okay, so let's get the egg in. And then just get it all mixed up. Just really keep going around and swirl it to get it mixed nice. And then the longer you can let this set up in the refrigerator, the better. If you can make it the day before, it will be so much nicer. So, there we go. This is my potato salad. And what I'm going to do is, yes, I can use the last little tiny bit of this dill in there too. I will give this a taste, but it will be better later after it sits in the refrigerator for a little bit. So let me move the camera and then we will get to tasting. Okay, so let's give this a little taste. Try to get a little bit of everything. No, that's the way it's going to be. It's very good. Obviously, adjust the seasonings to however you like. I personally do think it does need a little bit more salt. Not much. Definitely no more pepper. I may need more pepper, but I'm not going to put any in before my husband. He doesn't like too much pepper. But basically, just make your potato salad. You can put different vegetables in it. Some people put olives. You can leave the egg out if you don't like that. But really, however you like it. But it's a great thing to have in the refrigerator. And like I said, we're going to do some hamburgers tonight and have it with hamburgers. And tomorrow, may do some paninis and have it with paninis. But it's a nice side dish to have if you want to put a meal together really quickly. And it's a great thing to take to a potluck, a church function, a picnic. I don't think anybody's doing picnics right now. But if you have any type of get together, it's a fantastic thing. But before we go, let me show you this. For all of you people who live down south. Let me see if I can get this off without messing with anything. Let's see if you can see it. We have some snow coming down. It's supposed to snow all night. So, I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to enjoy some snow with my dog because I'm sure she's going to enjoy it. And I hope you have a good evening.